morning, everybody. Sorry for a slight delay in starting the panel. As usual, we have technical problems. And while I love to blame my favorite software vendor, this time it isn't that. It's just acts of God. I can already see Dr. Zaha smiling over there. Good evening and good morning and welcome to the second day of the Hack in the Box Security Conference 2010 in Kuala Lumpur. And the first item on the agenda is a panel. And we have a very esteemed panel down here. Everybody who's an expert in either antivirus or cloud computing, with 3 of the top antivirus companies in the world sitting here with us, and which makes me feel like a virus and secure, right? And which makes me feel like a virus be caught in between the little clamps over here. It's a 2-hour panel. We would actually want questions from the floor. We're also taking in questions from Twitter. So feel free to work on what the panelists are saying. I think they're going to be very light and easy and joking around. And we'll start first with the gentleman sitting on the extreme left, Mr. Paul Ducklin, who's the head of technology for Sophos. Paul joined Sophos in, what year was that? In 1995. In 1995, and that's a long time ago, 15 years ago. And he's held many roles in Sophos ever since joining them from Australia's CSI role. And in 2009, last year, he won AUCERT's Directors Award for Individual Excellence in Information Security. Well done, Paul. Paul is one of the world's leading security experts, and he loves to share his knowledge. And in his own unique, funny way. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Paul to say something on mobile malware and cloud computing.
Thank you. I'm supposed to apparently speak for 3 to 4 minutes, but since we've started late, since this is a panel discussion where we're supposed to answer your questions, I'm going to say nothing and wait to find out what you guys are interested in, so that can save a little bit of time.
Very brief and succinct, Paul. Thank you. The next gentleman down is Mr. Mikko Hipponen, who's the Chief Research Officer of F-Secure. He's been in F-Secure in Finland since 1991. That's even before I started.
19 years.
That's 19 years, even before I started working. So which makes him a lot older than I am. And 19 years, and he's led his team through a number of major malware outbreaks. And he's also assisted law enforcement in the US, Europe, and Asia. And he's a prolific writer. He's written for many magazines, Scientific American and Foreign Policy. And he was actually selected as one of the most 50 important people on the web by PC World magazine. So he's actually why don't we put the other 49 now. So we'll let Mikko tell you why that.
Thank you for that. Yes, indeed. Of course, the explanation of how come I've been working in this industry for 19 years is that I started when I was 5 years old.
There we go.
So, I do find the topic, or the 2 topics that we're talking about, cloud and mobile, interesting, especially when we think about the future and the long run. Because of course, the internet has changed so much during the last 15 years with the introduction of things like the web, which pretty much started coming around 94. Which makes it really hard to really forecast what things will be looking like in 20 years, 30 years into the future. The nice part is that we'll all be there to see it. Imagine how much the world of computing has changed in the last 30 years. Most of us will be around in 30 years in the future to see how much it's going to change again. But one thing that I think will happen, which is pretty obvious to see, is that internet will become so commonplace, so ubiquitous, that it is just going to be everywhere and people don't even think about it. Nobody will be speaking about the internet in 30 years. It is just everywhere, it's always accessible, and in a way, internet itself will become some sort of cloud. What I mean by that is that every single device you have or will have in the future will always automatically assume that it will be able to connect wirelessly to the internet and just get an IP6 address, or maybe we have IP8 by then, I don't know. But to get, just sort of like you have a 3G network today, and your phone can get online anywhere where you have 3G, pretty much around the world. But for that, you need a phone device, you need a SIM card, you need an access plan. In 30 years from now, you need none of those. Your device, like your clock, can just get an IP address and go online anywhere in the world with fast connection. And this, something like this is pretty likely to happen, and it will change the way we live.
Okay. Thank you, Mikko. And now we move to the right. And the gentleman on my right, who's a little bit shy, is Mr. Denis Maslenikov, who's the head of the mobile research group at Kaspersky Labs. Denis has been at Kaspersky since 2007, starting off as a virus analyst, and then with a specific interest in mobile malware, attacks on social networking sites, instant messenger threats, and ICQ spam. He became a senior malware analyst in 2008, and from 2009 he's been heading the mobile research group at Kaspersky. He's an expert in the main trends of malware development. In addition to his work at Kaspersky Labs, Denis studied information security at the Russian State University of the Humanities. The Russian State University of the Humanities?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let Denis explain what that means.
Well, I don't really want to focus on my education, which I just finished my university 1 year ago. So, but generally today's topic is mobile malware, cloud computing. I'm a bit more focused on mobile malware, and it's really interesting topic because, like, for example, yesterday's evening I just found a new version of the third version of Android SMS Trojan. So the guys now provide their customers with a 1 month update with the new SMS Trojan. So this is a new version, and it's like not really different from the previous ones, but still, cyber criminals, they started to earn money via mobile malware 2 years ago, and they continue to do it today, and I think it's really interesting topic to discuss today.
Okay, thank you, Denis. And our final, but not least, panelist is Jose Nazario, who's no stranger to Hackbox. He's been here, he's spoken many times. He's a senior manager of security research at Arbor Networks, who's been great supporters of HITB over the last few years. Thank you very much. He's responsible for analyzing internet security threats, reverse engineering malicious code, software development, developing security mechanisms that are distributed through Arbor's Flow platforms via the active threat free. That's a lot of acronyms. Jose's research interests are large-scale internet trends, so he can actually look at things from a very larger macro picture. Internet-scale events such as DDoS attacks, botnets and worms, source code analysis tools, and data mining. He's authored a couple of books. I think you launched one of your books at HITB as well, right? A couple of years back. It's been a while. One of his books are Defense Detection Strategies Against Internet Worms, and the other is Secure Architectures with OpenBSD. He's a PhD in biochemistry, so Dr. Jose Nazario.
Thanks, Ganesh. Thanks. It's a pleasure to be back in Kuala Lumpur. It's been a few years since I've been here at Hackbox. Actually want to touch upon a point that Mikko brought up. Right? So I'm looking at these very large trends. Cloud and mobile, I think, are fascinating because they are these dramatic paradigm shifts for lots of different things. Mikko knows that in the future he expects that we're going to be able to access the water network ubiquitously, and that's a great dream, I think. But I think what the biggest threat to it actually is the operator community, because of the way that they want to charge for everything and the way that they're increasing pressure to segment access, and I think it's really getting in the way of that dream. But anyway, so mobile is fascinating because now we truly have personal computing. We have truly, network computing that is always on and it's personal, and that's a dramatic paradigm shift in regards to the threat landscape, the possibilities you have open. Cloud is another tremendous shift in terms of where you are, what you're doing, what's available, and then of course the threat landscape. And we are, all of us, I think, and the computer security community, really unable to sort of say what this means, both in terms of how to defend it and how to attack it. So it's a very exciting time to be alive and be paying attention.
Thank you, Jose. I think I was actually going to start by asking our panelists some questions.